Welcome and hello there. Today we're gonna look at a game I had just recently in like a after-action game report kind of style. So I'm just gonna name this series the Damage Control Officer, because here we're just gonna look at what went wrong and why it went wrong. So first we're gonna have a look at both of the lists. First off, my opponent played Rebels, and he had a list consisting of a Starhawk Battleship Mark I with Crystal Gate, the Concord title, the Intel Officer, the Strategic Advisor, Weapons, Battery Techs, H9 Turbo Lasers, and the Overload Pulse. As his secondary ship, he had the MC-80 Liberty, with Montcaron, Intel Officer leading shots, gunnery team, engine techs, and a turbo laser upgrade. I don't remember which one right now. And then he just had a flotilla with boosted comms and Tycho and Chelsea. Then, as for my list, I had a ISD-2, I think, or maybe a Kuat, I don't remember. I think it was a Kuat. And then I had two boarding trooper Quasar fire carriers, one with Minister 2 and electronic countermeasures, the other one just bare bones. Then I had a Gladiator with Brunson, engine techs, APTs, all the fancy stuff, and Demolisher, and a Comsnet flotilla. So, basically my list was just a really kind of fun little playing around with burning all the defense tokens. Like with the double boarding trooper action, you can actually burn 4 defense tokens, which is rather funny. And then what his list tried to accomplish, I'm not entirely sure, because he had like the MC-80 and the Starhawk kitted out to burn my tokens at maximum capacity with the 2 Intel Officers and Montcaron, and then the Overload Pulse is kind of redundant on the Starhawk, because you're burning the defense tokens with Intel Officer anyway, so why would you Overload Pulse? Which is kind of a, in my opinion, bad idea. And then he had weapon battery techs and then no kind of real rerolls at all on the Starhawk, which is what I wouldn't have done. But I mean, generally it's okay list. You have the Starhawk as your main tanking and shooting ship, and then the MC-80 as a kind of support vessel that can stay at long range and still dip out okay amounts of damage. And I mean, the small squadron coverage is okay as well. So so the first point when I knew that the battle was kind of shifting into my going my way was when I, with I think 9 points of bid, outbid him because he was 400 points exactly, and I saw his objective, which were fleet ambush, surprise attack, and dangerous territory. Because in those 3 objectives, I mean, I'm personally not a fan of dangerous territory. I just think it doesn't give you enough as a second player. Surprise attack is perfectly fine, but fleet ambush is a really bad objective. And later on in deployment you're gonna see that I myself just had a real good time because of fleet ambush, because as you can see in the background now, we put down the objectives, and he put all of us in the fleet ambush zone, which is what you're gonna do because you wanna minimize the points where I can actually put things in the fleet ambush zone, because fleet ambush says that I can't overlap with obstacles in the ambush zone, and I have to put every uneven ship into the ambush zone. The problem is that this gave me 2 really good things, because first off, it didn't really hurt me that I had to put 3 ships in the ambush zone, because my fleet is fairly fast, fairly mobile anyway, and I want to rush against my opponent anyway, because I have boarding troopers, so I need to be at close range, and I have a Kuat, so I want to be at close range. And what I just did was just deploy the Gozanti and the Quasar sideways so that they could then fly away from the enemy if they were in a disadvantageous position because of the ambush zone. And then in deployment, so I would just never take fleet ambush as an objective ever. It doesn't matter which list you go with, that just doesn't give you enough leverage to justify doing that. And then as you will see in a second, he did his second, in my opinion, that was the graver mistake he did there, was he deployed his fleet really far apart. So he put, as you can see right now, he put the MC-80 on one side and the Starhawk on the second side. And that really just shows you what is wrong with the Starhawk, because the Starhawk is a really, I mean, it's a good ship, and with a gate it's kind of broken if you pull it off right. It just never dies. But the problem of the Starhawk is that it is very slowly. And he put the Starhawk in the back of my ships, so I was going to fly away from him, and I was exactly the same speed as he was. Since I had first player, I would just always get away from him, which is really not a good position to put the Starhawk in. And then the second problem is that he put this MC-80 on the complete other side. So I could just myself think to myself, okay, I can either fight the Starhawk and probably not kill it, or I just fight the MC-80 and fly away from his Starhawk, which is precisely what I did. And because of ambush, of fleet ambush, I could also just perfectly deploy my Gladiator. As you can see, it wasn't even in shooting range in round 1, and he had to move before me because he only has 4 activations, I have 6. So I just wait for him to go on and fly away, and then I just fly into demolisher range and just hit him really hard in the first round. Mind you, like the first round, and I'm able to start rolling black dice against him already, which is, that should just never happen. So after a bit of finagling, basically how the game went down was, yeah, I just killed his MC-80, I didn't lose anything, and I just flew around his Starhawk. And Tycho and Chelshu are okay against squadrons, I guess, but I mean against ships, they don't do much. And that, like, that is just exactly how it went down and how I thought it would go down. And yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it today. I mean, you can still watch the rest of the whole game. I'm gonna leave it on 5 speed, and I think it's just gonna go 5 more minutes or something like that. And you can see how it actually completely went down. But basically there were no surprises there. If an MC-80 tries to fight a whole fleet by itself, that is just not gonna work. And the Starhawk was just too far away and too slow. In my opinion, what he should have done is just deploy the MC-80 on the far side of the Starhawk. So the Starhawk kind of just turns in and the MC-80 covers the flank of the Starhawk. And in that case it gets really mean, because I have to go in there and actually fight him, because I'm gonna lose otherwise. And if I go in there and fight him, he has both of his ships to hit me hard with, and he has double intel officers, which is absolutely brutal. He has a Starhawk that just can tank so much damage, which is brutal, and it has double salvo anyway because of Concord. So that is, in my opinion, what he should have done. And just, guys, seriously, I see a lot of people play fleet ambush, and I myself, I did that in the beginning when I started playing Armada as well, because I thought it was a fun objective. But guys, it just doesn't give you anything. Like, in this case, he didn't get anything off of it. He actually gave me an advantage because I could shoot him turn 1 with my Gladiator. And that was like, man, you don't want a Gladiator in your back in the first round. That's just brutal. Anyway, I think I've rambled enough. Yeah, if you have any questions, or if you would like to, I don't know, have me analyze a battle you did where you thought, like, what could I do better, what could I do worse, what should I not have done, you can definitely just comment or text me on Discord and just send me the video, and I'm just gonna do that. And yeah, so we'll just see you in the next one. I think he conceded in round 4 or something because he wouldn't get any of my ships. So yeah, as always, have fun, guys. Don't fly the Starhawk. I don't like that thing. And bye.